Well, hello and good day, beautiful, marvelous, fantastic podcast family. What a privilege and honor to be with you. I hope that wherever you are on this planet, you are doing well, and I'm sending you all of my love, well wishes, good vibes, positive intents your way. We have got an amazing show for you today. We have a rant that I did in my car after the gym about the template for the new masculine. A lot of this has been coming up, this masculine energy, toxic masculinity, this and that. And really what my belief is right now is that we are in a war. And it's unfortunate. Not everybody sees it. It just is what it is. People are trying to oppress other people to take their freedoms away. They're crashing businesses. So a lot of us know that that's going on, and we want to find solutions to live in courage and not fear, to live in faith and not fear. And so this is just one of the topics, but I also talk about solutions and the difference between right and wrong and being honorable. So there's a lot of topics that talk about current events in this one as well. So this is a solo podcast that I did, and it also says why we're going to win, why I know for sure we're going to win this. It might be challenging, but good is going to prevail in this scenario. If you're on the side of truth, justice, morality, freedom, compassion, you're on the side of what's true, and that is going to come out, and I'm going to align myself with that each and every day. So this is an awesome episode. I know you're going to like it. The censorship is absolutely insane. If you can share this as far and as wide as you can, do anything you can to get the word out there. If you want to volunteer, that would be incredibly helpful. I'm doing my best with doing the Choose Freedom Law Summit, with getting deleted everywhere, with getting new guests. I just want to create content all day, but uploading everything to 9 different platforms is taking so much time. They gave me my YouTube back, and then they gave me a strike right away, and I can't even upload over there. So find me on Rockfin/Matt Belair. Find me on Odyssey. But that's what it's going to take to get the word out. Make sure you sign up for my email list. If you do, you're going to get, a success hypnosis, a meditation, some sound bowl, all kinds of resources over there for you, as well on my Telegram, t.me/Matt Belair. And if you want to dive a little bit deeper, I highly recommend checking out the Soul Compass course. It is within the Academy. They deleted my Patreon, so please go to mattbelair.com, become a member. You can do so by donation. There's a few donation options there, or even free. I'm happy to give it to you. Just hit me up, matt@zenathlete.com. And for those of you guys who are really looking to step up, you want to get clarity, integrity, strategy, accountability, and a group, I highly invite you to consider checking out the Atomic Alchemy Mastermind group. This is a private group with me and other amazing people looking for the solutions, looking for navigating these times with strength and power, and also contributing in a meaningful way, knowing who we are, living our life purpose, and contributing to our community. And so it's a very powerful group, a very powerful experience. And if you want to join as my guest, you can hit me up, mattbelair.com/coaching. Fill out that form. Let me know who you are and what you're about, because everybody has to be, on the same page, like-minded, like-spirited, looking for solutions and truth and honesty and integrity. And if that's you and you're looking for support, this is a fantastic opportunity, and would love to see you in there. So the best way to support the show is to do 3 kind acts wherever you are in the world today. And let's come into a state of peace and coherence before we dive in. Oh, also check out my sponsor, thegoodinside.com/Matt, MATTB, and you can get $50 off the Heavy Metal Detox Zeolite. It is a phenomenal product. All their products are absolutely phenomenal. I've really done a more deep dive into health, into gut health lately in my diet, and I've changed it by making sure I get the greens and the proper proteins, but also heavy metal detox, so adding things in my diet that take out the heavy metals, and I've had a lot more energy. It's been great. Diet's one of my things that I'm not terrible at, but I'm not great at as well, and it's really made an awesome difference for me. And once you know about heavy metals, you want to put something in your diet that's going to help mitigate the metals that are absolutely everywhere. And then you can go a step further, make sure you're not adding them through products and chemicals and things like that. But it is a challenge. Plus, 5G. So we want to limit as many of the hazards as we can, because they're everywhere. So that's it. So check them out if you want it. Grab a bottle. It's only $13. It's an incredible product, and everything they have over there is amazing. So highly recommend that stuff. And check out the Choose Freedom Law Summit. I know it's coming down to the barrel, so check out the Choose Freedom Law Summit, and there's lots of resources there for you as well. Okay, so let's come into a state of peace and coherence. Wherever you are in the world, just stop what you're doing. Take in a deep breath in through your nose. Hold that breath and let it out slowly, filling every cell, muscle, and fiber of your being with peace, joy, contentment, enthusiasm, and getting ready to enjoy this amazing solo episode. What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. I just want to do a quick live video. Yesterday was on the masculine activation call with a bunch of great men. It's interesting the feedback I get, mostly positive, but some people were talking about, like we don't need any more masculine and stuff like that. Like some of the ladies that sent me a couple notes, and the idea that I kind of presented was that, it's not like the whole toxic masculine thing to me is like, it's an energy, like from my perspective, like martial arts and yin and yang. And what I learned from, Master Go, who could break stone with 2 friggin' fingers, we would do qigong, soft, like the feminine form, right? Go inner, like understanding, contemplation, directing energy, things like that. And then the masculine form was the action, was punching, was in the physical reality. And so, yeah, of course, like people can be dominant, but it's not man or woman, so you kind of get into these complicated themes. But what we want is embodied people, especially men, because what's happening now, and what I'm getting from a lot of the ladies, is that the women are coming forward and they're protecting the children and they're speaking up and they're trying to, hey, like my kid shouldn't be wearing a mask all day in school. Like it's not healthy for them. Like they're speaking up. And so there needs to be more men speaking up. But the challenge that they're facing is, they don't want to get, beat to death for saying the wrong thing. And it's such this culture where people are, really quick to kind of like, attack you. So I feel like when we understand that anybody can be toxic, anybody can be embodied, anybody can be good or bad, it comes down to like the intent, right? What is your intent? And the more of us that have a positive intent that want to stand for what's right and true, because tyranny is going to continue to exist, and it's going to get worse as long as we allow it as a collective. And what I've noticed in many of the other people that I work with and talk to is that the men have really just kind of not stood up. They've not been the protectors of their family. They're not speaking the truth. They're not standing out. And that's one of the requirements for evil. And I think it's a big mistake that so many people don't understand how evil operates. Alex Sakaris wrote a book called Why Evil Matters, How Science and Religion Flubbed a Big One. He runs the Skeptical podcast, and he's interviewed people like Martin Scorsese. He's really smart, he's scientific, and he's skeptical as fuck. And so, so what he said in the podcast, and this is some dark stuff, he goes, this is what he says to me. He goes, well, if we know that there's a group of people who torture children so that it's easier for entities to take over their body, we need to first figure out what's true. And this guy is like skeptical. And I'm like, what? 15 minutes later in the show, he's giving me grief about how you can know what your values are and design and live your life purpose from your soul. And he's like, I don't know about that. You got to make money. I'm like, bro, 15 minutes ago, you're just talking about entities entering children. You're so skeptical, but you're giving me grief about being able to create your own reality. Like, what is going on here? But in his book, Why Evil Matters, Why Science and Religion Flubbed a Big One, he just basically talks about the cognitive dissonance that's going on. And that is required for evil to persist. So if I'm walking down the street, right, and somebody is beating the piss out of a kid or somebody who's weak, and I don't do anything, well, that's not helping that person who's getting their butt kicked, is it? We have to take some action or speak up. And people have they've lost their voice to speak up about what's right and true because, I'm just looking at the comments here, getting distracted. So we have to stand up for what's right. We have to speak up. We can't allow this to go because there's this great quote that Christopher Gronsky from destinationfreedom.org, he knows the law, he's an awesome guy, and he just talks about evil's going to go as far as you allow it. They're going to keep taking, and they work in the shadows. They don't like light, they don't like awareness, and so it's going to require that everybody stand up, and men and women included. And so the masculine quote unquote activation is the action, is to speak up, it's to do what is right. And someone was talking about the new masculine template, right? Because, there has been an agenda to attack men and attack the quote-unquote alpha males, because if you're trying to take everything over, well, traditionally the males would protect the tribe. In Native American culture, what I really liked was the balance. I learned that they had a grandmother council, and so when they would go to war, the grandmother council would decide whether or not they would take action, and then the men in the tribe would go defend if necessary. And so we're just seeing a lot of non-action, and it's going to get a lot worse if we don't stand up and just speak for what's right and protect our kids and protect our families and do our own research and know what is going on, have knowledge. No one who's told me what to do knows anything. They go, follow the science and just go get this, this thing. I'm like, okay, explain to me how the PCR tests work. They can't do it. I said, explain to me how the deaths are recorded. They don't know how. They don't know anything about anything. And it's ridiculous. And so you need to know, because when we were talking about this whole, quote unquote masculine template, they say, what's this new masculine template? It's like, it's simple, but it's hard to do. It's to do the right thing, even if it's uncomfortable. That's it. That's all we can do, because we don't know. We live in a mystery here. It's a very confusing place, and it's like, when are you good enough? I have a 2-year-old daughter. Is she good enough now? Is she good enough when she's 6? Is she good enough when she's in high school? Is she good enough when she's finished university? Right? Is she good enough when she gets her first job? Is she good enough when she gets her first, or does she know anything? Now she knows something because she's finished university. She knows something because, she's 30 now and she's had her own business. I'm 30. How old am I? 37. I don't know anything. I'm so confused. And so we live in this mystery, but guess what? Guess what kids know, and guess what adults know? They know the difference between right and wrong in their feeling. They have this feeling, I feel like wearing a mask all day, something's not right about this. I feel, making every single person get this needle from, a pharmaceutical company, something doesn't feel right. Man, it's been 2 years, I keep lying, something doesn't feel right here. And guess what 90% of people do? They ignore it. And they just want stuff to go back to normal. They don't want to rock the boat. Problem is, the longer you do that, the worse it's going to get, and it's going to come to your door eventually. So you may as well just rock that thing. I've been rocking the boat since the beginning, and it's been there's been not a lot of benefit. People have been like, what's the benefit from speaking out? Well, I said it's the right thing to do. That's all I can do. I know it's the right thing to do, to share the truth to the best of my ability, to be open to new information, and to try to help people see clearly what is going on so they can make informed, intelligent decisions, because if they don't know that, they might harm themselves. And I don't want people to be harmed. I want to live in a world where we have peace and harmony and kindness and compassion and clean food and clean water. Go down any of these rabbit holes and you'll see how frigged up it is. Go down the food rabbit hole. Look at what's going on with food. It's horrendous. So then you go, okay, holy smokes, this is actually happening. What can we do about it? And that's the big thing that I've run into with a lot of different people. They go, oh no, I couldn't believe that. That's too big. And I'm like, you're right. You shouldn't believe that that's true, because you are a good, kind, and compassionate person. Good, kind, and compassionate people cannot fathom how evil people think. And we'll go back to Alex Tsakiris' book, Tsakiris, I believe, Alex Tsakiris, Why Evil Matters, How Science and Religion Flubbed a Big One. And that cognitive dissonance is a problem. We need to address it. Men and women. We need to, our fathers, like all these fathers, we need to protect our kids. Why are you not protecting your kids, what's going to be of the future generations? We know what they want to do because they wrote it down in books. Agenda 2030, Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum, and the technocracy and the global reset. We know what they want to do. They make it sound nice. It's not nice. It's terrible. So we need to kind of stand up now in our own way. And we can't fix the whole problem. Nobody's going to fix the whole problem. I remember talking to one of my friends. We got, I can see my buddies in here, and I remember I'll name drop. His name's Joel Hayhoe. He's one of my best friends forever. And I remember one time we were chatting, and he goes, buddy, you can't put the whole world on your shoulders, because I'm looking at all this terrible stuff going on. Bro, why does starvation exist? Why is there so much horror here? I think I'd come back from Cambodia, and I studied how, the Khmer Rouge did their thing and just slaughtered each other. And I said, yeah, you're right, but it's hard to do. if I could push a button and make it all go away, I would. And so this is a very personal journey. So what the hell can we do? Well, we can do what's right in front of us. That's it. We can be each and every day, when they're talking about this new quote unquote masculine template, you do the right thing each and every day to the best of your ability. And even if you intend the right thing, sometimes you might say something, right? And you're like, oh man, and it was received in a way where it was very negative. They get mad at you. Well, your intent was positive. That's okay. And you just reflect on that. You're not perfect. You don't know how it's going to be received. And in the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita, it talks about how people live in illusion. And violence is, in the Bhagavad Gita, and it talks about how most people believe violence is when you harm someone physically, right? But it also says when you live in illusion and you don't offer people the truth, you've committed violence. It's not up to me whether you accept what I say. It's up to you whether you're going to receive it, but I've done my job. I've offered you a tidbit of truth that you can look at. And here's the thing too, people want to know, whether they're doing the right thing as well, right? Well, this quote has been so money, and I don't know if Mark England is on this call. He's the Lifted Coaches, which is just super ballin'. Been using this quote all the time. Anything that seeks to restrict or bind by definition is Luciferian. And I love that quote because it's when I was processing at the beginning of this, and I was very, very sure of what's going on, but like not 100, it was like 95. And I was like, okay, is what I'm trying to do restrict or bind? No, it's not. I'm offering information. You can take it or leave it, but I'm not trying to enforce you to do anything. I will maybe think. I'm inviting you to think. I'm inviting you to research. There's nothing to stand on anywhere with this. With these needles, now it's like they're pressuring you to go get them. Well, guess what, dummies? It doesn't prevent you from getting it. It doesn't prevent you from spreading it. It's not safe and effective. They're lying to you. You can go find the animal studies. These people have financial interests that you can go and do your own research, but that's too much for people to consider. Right? If it doesn't prevent you from getting it, and it doesn't prevent you from spreading it, what the hell? And then you look at, well, how, what's the average age of death? How many extra people have died? None. What? I thought we were in a serious pandemic. How are there no increase in morbidities? Huh. And guess what? You can go figure all that out yourself. But people are so unaware of like Google and social media and all this. I had a friend I went golfing with a couple weeks ago. She didn't even know censorship was going on. I was like, bro, I've been censored, for years, and this person knows me. Like, you've known me my whole life. Like, when have I ever intended to harm? I've only intended to know the truth. I've only intended to help to the best of my ability. You can feel free to disagree with me all you want. But if you can't answer the simple questions that I'm telling you, maybe you should consider it. Just maybe, So we're living in challenging times. And one of the things I said on this thing is like, we're in challenging times, but the human spirit is stronger. The audacity of these people, it is actually a straight up Luciferian satanic agenda. People don't like hearing those words, especially my dad. And I'm like, they identify as that. It's not my fault, but that's what they identify as. But here's the thing. They think about how they can get everything from you, right? How can I get more? How can I control all these? They're controllers, right? They have mass power and mass influence, right? And that's what I was saying about masculine power too. It's like a power. Power is good depending how you wield it, right? Like the U.S. Army, right? That is a mass power. Which direction is it being wielded? If they wield that thing for freedom and ensure freedom, that's incredible. If they wield it for harm, oh my God, that is so bad, right? And so that comes back to the intent, right? And so knowing martial arts and having like strength, right? I was just talking to another martial artist in there, right? I have that strength that gives me power to operate. I've had a gun held to my head. I've talked down a man with a machete because of that inner confidence I have from this masculine form of understanding my body and then also connecting to something bigger. It's inner and it's outer. And so I had the confidence to stand up, right? I didn't cower in those situations. I took an action. And that came from, work and understanding. So, there's two sides to this coin. So where do you put that influence, right? You have a massive amount of influence. Well, if we have massive amounts of power and then we intend and we use that influence for good, that's a beautiful thing. And that's what we need. People are disempowered. This works from being, confused. This whole thing works on fear. Fear disconnects us from our spirit. It can disconnects us from our soul. And to go back to the Luciferian thing, they think about getting everything from you. Good people don't think like that, right? They're like, nah, come on. And it's like, nah, you need to understand how this world worked. And for me, I looked at war and starvation. Have you ever looked at that? Have you ever studied the genocide in Rwanda, where they gave one side the radios and they started spewing propaganda, and then the important thing is to dehumanize. They dehumanize the one side. Then, after months, I don't know how many months, but months of propaganda going. Then they drop in the machetes, boom, and they smoke the other side and just massacre men, women, and children, right? Well, that's crazy. Do we call that toxic masculine? I think it's just toxic input, right? We have to look at the systems, because these generalizations are very challenging. You can take myself, for example. I try my best to be a good and honorable person, what I do, right? But could I make a mistake and in one circumstance do something that would be like toxic masculine or something? Maybe I could. In that circumstance, that would be that. But you have to take the circumstance as it is, because maybe I'd have all these other circumstances where I was, let's say just an embodied being telling people the truth, right? Hey, this is the truth and it's necessary for me to say it. You might not like it, but that's where it is. And like, oh, that's a toxic masculine, bro, blah, blah, blah. It's like, sorry, man. Like, I'm sorry that you took it that way, but that's just, I had to speak up because I want you to know the truth, because that's illusion, right? Same with these, I've been shout from the rooftops. And from like 2 weeks into this, I was like, the whole agenda is so everybody gets a needle and it's going to harm you. And people don't recognize that, because unfortunately their minds are lost. And propaganda is so important for this to work. But fear, that's how they do it. They did another study on an amygdala hijack, where they would bombard people with fear for 3 months. And then what would happen is your amygdala, I'm kind of getting this wrong, but look up amygdala hijack, look up the science of it. It'll be explained way better than what I'm going to say here, but I'll just kind of tell you how I remember. So the amygdala is, processing danger and things like that. And so once it's hijacked, all of a sudden you're just going to think danger. So with the Rona, they're just going, danger, everyone could die, everyone could die, everyone can die. They do that for three months. Now when you say, oh, the survival is 99.9 plus, it's actually the exact same as a flu. So if you weren't afraid of the flu, you shouldn't be afraid of this. No. Amygdala hijack is done. Most terrifying thing ever. And if you do anything that is not, not conducive to, what the agenda is, you're the worst and you're killing everybody. Meanwhile, satanic inverted reality, we've got this agenda where they make children, little beautiful innocent children, believe that they're killing grandma and grandma. Can you think of anything more disgusting than that? It's pretty frigged up. So we got to stand up for the truth, right? And people got upset with me when I said this, but it's just like the softest world ever. Want to talk about an inverted reality? The minister of health in the States is a biological man who thinks he's a woman, an obese man, not even fit, not like The Rock or a Bruce Lee or somebody who really knows fitness. It's like, so that's their head of health and, mental health. I have no problem with what you want to do, what you want to identify with, whatever, go for it. But that embodiment of the expression, I don't know if that's like top notch. And I always wondered that too as a kid. I was like, this place is ridiculous. What is going on here? Like, why are not the most qualified, intelligent, beautiful people the head of things, right? The presidents, the World Health Organization, that people don't look into at all. They just take it. Guess what? It's a private globalist organization that doesn't have your wellness at heart. It sounds great, right? World Health, right? It's just like when in McDonald's, they did 100% real beef. And I was a teenager at the time, and I'm like, that's not right. I guarantee you this is not 100% real beef. Guaranteed. How are they doing this? So a little time goes by, do a little research. Oh, that's the company, 100% real beef. Very deceptive. And so that's a problem again. Good people can't understand how evil people think. And it is what it is. And so it's not to be afraid of it. It's to be aware of it. And it's to let people who want to be lost and angry and deceived, unfortunately, that's their choice. What you can do is present them the truth. You can embody kindness, compassion, strength, and honor to the best of your ability. And you can team up with the millions of other people who are down for the truth, and they're down for freedom, and they're down for, not satanic stuff wants to invert reality. That's the whole thing, right? Healthy is now the new sick. Oh, this regular healthy person is going around and you want to stab me with this experimental thing that there's a ton of evidence and injuries all over the world. You're a threat. But guess what? In this inverted reality, me going to the gym, doing a podcast, trying to help people, wanting to know the truth, exposing tyranny, I'm the threat? That doesn't make any sense, but it does if your mind is lost. And they work on emotion. That's how hypnosis and propaganda works. It's all on emotion and fear, because you're not thinking logically. One of the nice things, though, if you are awake, is that, the guys training with at the gym, these people who are not thinking, they're mostly order followers. They don't have that same kind of strength and conviction. And we're the ones going to the gym. We're the ones who know martial arts. We're the ones who are trained. We're the ones who stand in honor. So if you come and try and do it by force, you're going to get smoked. It's not even going to be a competition. We've asked you to leave us alone. You're not standing in truth. And now you're trying to restrict or bind me. That's going to be a problem, and they're just going to get smoked, right? I can't think of any circumstance where I'm going to try to go restrict or bind someone and force them to do anything, right? If only just leave me alone, right? Leave me alone. That's about it, right? And if you don't stop, then maybe some action will have to be taken, but I'm going to use my words to the best of my abilities. I'm pretty good at martial arts, but one of my friends told me something very wise. Shout out Corey Wilson. He said that when we were kids, I can't remember, I think we were horsing around, and I was messing with him, that's doing martial arts at the time, and he goes, I can run faster scared than you can mad, buddy. And I just thought that was friggin' hilarious. I was like, true. So I could do that now, even if I'm angry or whatever, I could just run, because it shouldn't come down to physical combat ever. But having that card, right, that old story, I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. And so there are many ways that we can combat this. We can make our homes peaceful. We can have peaceful relationships. We can strengthen our resolve with spirit. That's the most important thing, because it's a spiritual war. These people are soulless. One of the things I learned from this law summit is that regular law, like if you harm somebody, right and wrong, the 10 commandments, if there's someone on the other side that you broke their property or did something, right, that's law, right? We all know that. It's common law, common sense. It's like, you broke my window, fixed my window, sure, that's honorable, that's fair, right? Everything else, acts and statutes. Oh, beautiful bird. Beautiful bird. Hello. Hopefully you can see that beauty. I don't even know, it's yellow. Everything else is acts and statutes with the jurisdiction of a pirate ship, not even on land, because your rights come from the creator. Everything else has to do with paying a banker. So their courts are these pirate ships on the jurisdiction. So OPP or wherever you are, Australia, same thing, USA, same thing. They're saying, you need to pay this. Who are you? I'm on the land. No, I don't. Get out of here. It has to do with a corrupt banker. Trying to, not a banker, but the pirate ship's jurisdiction saying that you need to, obey this order. No, I don't. We didn't make an agreement, right? It's based on commerce. So it's pirate ships, literally. And they're Luciferian because they want to take your stuff. And what they do with attorneys is they see which one is the biggest piece of crap, because they understand the system and they kind of groom them. Then they get to be a judge, because you have to be the biggest piece of shit to have somebody there, know how this system works, and know all it has to do with is taking that person's money. Take their house, take their business, whatever. Just have to do with money, which is fake, by the way. And, they're what's going on with this financial crash. They're just printing money. It used to be gold backed, right? And that's how this whole world structure works. They conquered, European countries, now the entirety of Europe. Then they got the Federal Reserve in the States in 1910 or whatever the heck that was, right? And so it's not even in control of the people. So they're printing more money and then there's a friggin' interest, right? So there's not enough money in circulation to pay off the debt, right? So the humans, the cattle, through your birth certificate, are basically in debt forever. So that's not a great scenario. So that's kind of what's going on, right? And then you go to the courts. Well, now the judge, he knows this. They or she, they know this. They know what's going on. So that's why they have to be this biggest piece of crap, because they have no heart. They have no soul. Guess what? We're fighting AI that has no heart, no soul. Luciferians, no heart, no soul. So that's stupid of them to pick a battle, because you never go against the human spirit. You never go against soul. They can poison your mind, and they do, right? They can poison your food, and they do. But to poison your own soul is always a choice. And so we do that. And so we got to make sure we don't do that. Now, how do you not do that? You just do the right thing to the best of your ability each and every moment. You're not going to be perfect. You're going to mess up a lot. Just intend, though, and be aware when you make a mistake. Just try to speak the truth, to get connected with spirit, to take care of your body. Do a little, it doesn't have to be meditation or something. Just connect to God and spirit in your own way, so you can center yourself, so that you kind of know what's going on. And as you operate through the day, you're going to have a little bit more clarity, a little bit more intent. So that's it. I did a little rant, and that's it, and I'll post it around. So if you guys want more news, I gotta figure out social media, because it's so challenging to share anything true here, but I keep doing it anyway with the massive, my stuff is insanely censored. So please share it as far as wide if you like it. Please go to mattbelair.com and become a member. If you can do it for free. Just send me Matt@ZenAthlete. I'll give you a free link. But if you can donate $1 or $3, that would be awesome, because it really helps to keep this going and do the research and all that kind of stuff. So if you can help. Heavy Metal Detox, I just got a new sponsor. They're dope. We just dropped that episode today. I did a lot of due diligence before partnering with The Good Inside, because I was looking up Heavy Metal Detox because of all these podcasts, and then they came in with a great product, and I talked to Dr. Bear Lando. But you can check that out. You can get a bottle for $5. But what it did for me is I use that bottle, but I also use apple cider vinegar and a green drink. So now I have a simple protocol that takes out the heavy metals that I can't avoid. You just can't avoid it. It's impossible. So I'm trying to figure out the most clean food and clean water I can. But what that at least does is it gives me a basic protocol. So I think I have a link for them somewhere, but you'll find it. Telegram is the best place to stay in touch. You're not going to find news anywhere. If you're lucky to see it on Instagram, they just keep shadow banning it and deleting it and all that kind of stuff. So it lives for a bit and then it gets deleted. So Telegram is definitely the new app. If that goes down, honestly, I don't know what we'll do for those people who want to share the truth and be aware. I just want to remind everyone, try not to be afraid. I'm afraid sometimes with all this stuff going on, but just know, one of the powerful perspectives for me is if there is a creator, which I believe there is, if there's these Luciferians, if they're Satanists, they believe Satan exists, so then God must exist. God wins that war, but we're created by God. We came here with a purpose, whatever you want to use your own language for this, but this will be my personal belief right now. And if we're created, we're protected, just like I protect my daughter for anything. So if there is this force beyond time and space and mind that created you, and you have the divine spark, you have a conscience and a soul, and you can feel that, you're created by something, and that thing is going to protect you. So move in faith, and these Satanists just want fear, and then fear makes you obedient, because you have to accept, you have free will, so you need to create some spiritual strength. So that's it. Have a beautiful day. If you guys have any questions, hit me up anywhere that you can see me. Telegram is best, t.me/Matt Belair. Have a beautiful week, and see you in the next video. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed that episode. If you did, share it as far and as wide as you can. Go to mattbelair.com, become a member, even if you can chip in $1 or $3 a month. It helps immensely. Share, leave a review, follow me on Telegram, get on the email list. This is, we're in a war right now, and a lot of people are looking for solid information. So it's come down to the wire in Canada, and it's going to come down to the wire basically everywhere. So the more you can prepare for it, you're going to be less afraid, and you're going to have a solution handy. And that's what this is all about. It's all about unity. It's all about allowing people freedom of choice. It's all about getting the truth out there, sovereignty, and the best that humanity has to offer. So follow me on Telegram. Please share the show as far and as wide as you can. Really trying to get the word out there, and it's really challenging. And check out thegoodinside.com/MattB if you want to check out the Heavy Metal Detox. They're a sponsor, and I really appreciate their support at this time, as all of your support. So the best way to support the show is 3 kind acts wherever you are in the world today. Know that we are going to win this because we are on the side of right, truth, justice, honor, all the good things, and I would rather die with those things than live without them. So we have absolutely got this, and have a beautiful day. So thank you so much for listening. Let's come into a state of peace and coherence. Wherever you are in the world, just stop what you're doing. Take in a deep breath in through your nose. Hold that breath and let it out slowly, filling every cell, muscle, and fiber of your being with peace, joy, integrity, compassion, enthusiasm, faith, courage, and get ready to enjoy the rest of your day. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.